want to rebut some of the cases brought up by the opposition. I'd like to tell you that in our extension, we're going to talk about how this is particularly important for the Balkans because this is the most backward region in Europe, both economically and socially, and it's harming the economy of the country, it's harming more and more the cultural relations between the countries, which admittedly are strong, and throughout our history we do have strong cultural ties, which I will later explain, and particularly for us and for the Balkans, this is a crucial step. Now, before that, the rebuttals. Now, firstly, we've heard time and time again this argument that there's so many countries in the Balkans and there's going to be so much confusion. How are we possibly going to have objectivity? Ladies and gentlemen, it's very simple. Nothing's confusing about this. We've explained to you, we're going to have historians from each country offering interpretations of events that we have disagreements upon, and offering the different interpretations that they have on this topic. We're offering these various interpretations to students so that they can decide for themselves what they believe in. And if there's 100 different opinions, fine, write big books, we don't care. The fact is, we're going to give all the facts straight to the students so that they can decide for themselves, ladies and gentlemen. And then how it comes to the individuality of the country. Thank you. Well, first of all, we are very similar. Of course, we're not the same countries, but there are many strong cultural ties and many similarities. But even disregarding that, how are we harming individuality? What we're doing is following the romantic approach of studying history. We're basically studying particularities and then giving different views on these particularities and disagreements that may exist on a specific topic. And pupils from the Balkans can decide for themselves what interpretation they believe in, what country they agree with. Because right now we don't have a stage-like one. We've explained to you that right now books are not objective. Every country is giving their own interpretation. And of course students and pupils, the youth cannot understand what is happening and why. And then this whole thing that we're going to create more problems. Well, they haven't explained how exactly we're going to create more problems. What harm can possibly come from creating a book, ladies and gentlemen? Maybe it won't help, fine. But what possible harm can come from creating a book? No, thank you. It's a book. What violence? I mean, they talked about increasing violence. Honestly, I mean, come on, it's a book. And the point is, violence already exists, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I made the mistake of being a Serbian who grew up in Greece, and I said Macedonia instead of fire, and I almost got my head chopped off, ladies and gentlemen, because animosity and violence already exists. Therefore, we have to act. We have to do something about it. And educating our children, we believe, is an important way to start. And then we said how we have these various interpretations, and we're making life a lot harder. And that there's potential racism, right, because it already doesn't exist, and that that's the whole point why we're even having this debate. Because because racism does exist, and because we do have a lot of animosity and disagreements among people from these countries. Yes.
Doesn't the opposition side of the House believe, though, that the racism will become worse and worse?
No, of course not. How can a book increase racism? How can giving interpretations of various topics that we disagree possibly increase racism? I have my country's view and I have Bulgaria's view of firearms, and suddenly, no, thank you, and suddenly this is going to increase racism, which already exists. How exactly? You have failed to explain this to me. And then the whole historians will quarrel. That's the point. That's the job of the historians, ladies and gentlemen. They engage history in a constant debate. They study history, different events, thank you. And they represent their views on a certain topic. And we believe that by offering these various arguments and various interpretations, we're actually coming closer to the truth, ladies and gentlemen. But now on to my case extension. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, of course countries in the Balkans are different. Serbia is different than Greece, Greece is different than Fire, and whatever. But there are strong cultural ties, ladies and gentlemen. It's a similar culture, religions are even similar, and even the languages among some of the countries are very similar. And understandably, by logic, these countries should therefore be able to cooperate with one another and not hate one another. But what we have is the most backward region in Europe, ladies and gentlemen. Not only are we not open-minded, as the opening argument came and said how we definitely lack this open-mindedness, but we lack, incentive basically to trade with one another. I mean, economically, have the lowest salaries in Europe, and we have this use taking place, and this non-economic cooperation taking place because of our history, because we can't deal with the fact that who created Feta, or if Cairo can have their airport called Alexander the Great. I mean, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, only these common history books can stabilize the area and allow us to agree on things, allow our students, educate our students about these disagreements, and so we can finally move forward, ladies and gentlemen. And we believe that this is important, that it should take place in schools, and that the governments should support this, because only if the governments and the historians of countries start cooperating with each other are we actually setting an example so that the people of these countries can also start cooperating, ladies and gentlemen. So because we believe that that a problem exists, that Europe is that the Balkans are the most backward region of Europe, and that no harm can possibly come from offering various interpretations to the youth of the Balkans about specific issues we disagree on, we proudly beg to oppose this.